So you think this shit's gonna be easy? Go watch Making Records with Eric Valentine. Don't even worry about the gear. Watch the processes he goes through to get albums sounding amazing. Or work a week on a YouTube video only to have the algorithm shut you down when it's the same type of video that you've made before that's done extremely well. You can't make music for other people. You have to do it for yourself. And any accolades or success that comes is just a bonus. You have to be addicted to this shit. In this video, I want to talk about the hard work that it takes to learn to make your music sound like records, and also highlight the dedication you have to have for social media to make that work for you. It has to be something that you're not doing for any outside reason other than self-fulfillment. If you do it for that reason, I think you can have success. Also, I want to talk about the next trend in music and how I think it's not going to come out of one of the usual places. It should be an interesting conversation. Let's go. As my time has went along making music and creating content, I've developed some very strong opinions about what's important with making these videos and making the music I make. And I want to touch on some of those things in this video. And I want to get a little bit into my own personal life, which is something I haven't yet done in my YouTube videos. So this is breaking a little bit of new ground for me. First of all, let's talk about motives and intentions, because when you're getting into this, that's really everything. If you're in it for success, you're going to be very disappointed for a long time. Now, if your motives are to create something that sounds good, carry on traditions of things that you know sounded good as you were growing up, to create an artistic statement, then you'll be fulfilled as long as you keep progressing and working towards this goal. It doesn't matter if you have success with a lot of views or a lot of listens on the streaming services. You'll be successful because you know that what you've created has grown and is a true representation of who you are. I'm a father, and not just that, I'm a single dad. And I have my son 100% of the time, except for the 40 hours a week that I'm at work. And those 40 hours, my mom has him. So, not to get too much into things, but my son is the light of my life. And the only thing I love more than doing my music is him. So when I get home from work, he gets my time. I do come in here when I have an idea, get that down really quick. I try not to spend over an hour in here while he's awake. So everything I do is at night. But I told you I work 40 hours a week. I spend every bit of another 40 hours a week in the studio making music. I do it late at night. On the weekends when I'm home, I do a little more in the studio while he's up. He's getting a little bit older now, so he can play by himself, watch TV. He doesn't need my attention as hands-on every second. So I can slip away into the studio for 30 minutes or an hour and track a part. That is to say that I'm completely captivated by music. I started getting my studio together after I had him. I had some experience learning to record when I was in school a long time ago. Back then it was on DATs, but I never had my own studio till about 4 years ago. And I'm completely immersed in it because it's amazing to me the progression you can have, where you can take your music, how you can take your gear and your knowledge and make records that sound great. You just have to do the work, and I'm doing the work. So this is why I started the YouTube channel. I wanted to take viewers on this journey with me, and I had a hope that I would have some success, but I wanted to document my process. And when you get into YouTube and you have children, that's always on your mind that this is going to be there for them to watch at some point. And I want him to be able to look back and see what was going on when he was 2 or 3 or 4 years old, where I was at and what I was doing, and see my progression. And so success wasn't the main goal for me. It was to make something that sounds good and leave a document of where my life was when he was small. And now that I'm putting out my own music, it's gotten to a point where I'm happy with it. I think other people, if they hear it, will be happy with it. The feedback I've gotten on most of it has been really good, and it's getting better all the time. Let me tell you about an experience that I had with my most recent song. I was working on another song before the one I just released last week. You can see the title here. You can listen to it on all the streaming services. It's called Feels the Same. My artist name is Thirsty Deer. But I was working on another song, and I really liked the whole instrumental track, but it was fairly busy. And I learned, trying to do vocals on this song, that sometimes a tune can be too busy for a vocal. And I spent a month and a half, 2 months working on this song, writing and rewriting vocals, only to find that I couldn't get a vocal to work on it. Then I had this other piece of music almost completed. I got into writing a vocal on that. After I completed the writing process, I abandoned the other project because where I'm at with my music, I don't want to put out instrumentals. I think guitar instrumentals they just don't do it for me. It's not the music I listen to. There's cool stuff out there. I like to watch like Pete Thorne demos, stuff like that. He's a great musician. There's a lot of them. But that's not really what I'm into putting out. I want my music to have vocals. So I abandoned that other project. It was finished. I had a final mix done of the instrumental, but I put it in a few of my YouTube videos, but it's not coming out because I want all of my music to have lyrics now. And I started putting lyrics on this other tune that I finished, and that came together really quickly. In a few weeks, I had it done and I had it mastered. And I'm at a point in my mixing and mastering process where my monitoring system isn't as good as it needs to be. And I need to work on that. But I'm taking all my mixes out to the car and checking them. And I worked on this. I did over 10 mixes out in the car to get it to the place I want it to be. So a lot of times I'm working on my headphones because I'm doing things late at night, and I'll check on my studio monitors. I'm using KRK Rocket 5s right now. I need some bigger monitors, and I need to probably do a little bit more with my acoustic treatment. My low end is never right. I know about how to calculate for it and where I need to put it in the mix, but there's always some play in there depending on how loud the guitars or the vocal is, just to get it right. And so my final check is always in the car, and I had over 10 revisions before I got this right. So there's just a lot of work. I had to abandon a song that I worked on for 2 months. And then I worked on another song, got the vocal done quickly, but it was a long mixing process. So you have to be willing to put in the work and know that maybe nobody will hear it. And this is just part of the process. And you have to really be passionate about what you're doing. You have to want it. And when I say want it, I don't mean success. I mean, you have to want to know that you can make great sounding music. If you like music production content and like this video, there are a few things you can do to help me grow the channel. Number one being just watch the video till the end. I don't know if people realize that watching the full video really helps the algorithm to push the videos out. Also, subscribe to the channel. trying to grow the channel here. I'm doing a giveaway of Audioscape plugins as well, and if you subscribe and click the link in the description, you're entered in that giveaway for the full suite of Audioscape plugins. I make a lot of music production content here. I also upload a lot of music to the streaming services. My artist name is Thirsty Deer. Go check out that music. Thank you. The next revolution in music isn't coming out of Nashville or Los Angeles. Think back to times when music's been turned on its head. Think about the punk movement. Think about the grunge era. Think about Jimi fucking Hendrix. These people and these styles of music came along at times when things were getting very stale, and they didn't allow themselves to be molded by some record label executive or A&R man. They did things their way, and they shook things up. They revolutionized music. And then look around. Look at what we're doing in our homes. We're taking the skills we have, the artistic abilities we have, and we're learning to make great music with those skills and artistic abilities. We're learning to produce, record, arrange, mix, engineer. We're doing all this, and we're working as hard as anyone in the big cities. And we're not allowing ourselves to be molded. The next big thing isn't coming out of the traditional places. There's people just as passionate everywhere, and now we all have the potential to make great sounding music.